Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tipoff 2021-2022. Dr. Ron Poniewasz, joined by Professor Larry Kelly, looking very studious tonight in his Newcastle gear. Well, Larry Kelly, welcome to the program, and teach us something about basketball tonight, will you?
Well, I'm going to try. I'm happy to report that my ninth grade basketball team won their first game of the year.
All right. There you go.
Yes, it was.
Nothing to do with coaching, right?
Well, the important thing when you coach at that level is not how many games you win, it's how many young men that you develop. And even though our record isn't a winning record, I believe that, what they've learned through the year and what they've accomplished through their hard work, dedication, is all A's. And I'm proud of my guys. They're good young men and becoming better with every practice.
I better change into my uniform here. As you can see, I'm wearing a T-shirt for Tom Brady on the day that he's announced his retirement. And years ago, I used to wear jerseys on here, but I'm going to do it again. We got
Is
Tom
it
Brady in the
official?
house.
Did he announce today?
He did. Where have you been?
Well, I kind of haven't been paying attention, but listen, that young man is the GOAT. He truly is the GOAT. He was blessed with skill and talent, God-given ability, but he's made the most of it. He was a student of the game. The bigger the game got, the better he got. The moment was never too big for him. So I applaud Tom Brady for all he's done.
All right. Athlete of the week this week. First off, we are going to tell you about the Neshannock competitive cheer team, as well as the Laurel competitive cheer team. The Neshannock competitive cheer team captured the PIAA Class 2A large divisions championship over the weekend in a competition that was held Friday, Saturday in Hershey. Laurel finished fourth. Laurel went into the Saturday portion ranked number 1, and Neshannock had to scramble just to get into the final day. They were ranked 5th. And Neshannock was able to maneuver their way all the way to a state championship. And Laurel, unfortunately, had a fall, I believe, with about 2 minutes, 28 seconds left in their routine, a 3-point deduction. Had that deduction not taken place, you would have had Laurel with a state title, and I believe Neshannock is second place. Regardless, Neshannock is your state champ in competitive cheer. Laurel is 4th. And that was for print edition, our athletes of the week. Larry, what can you say about the job that those young ladies did?
Those young women are tremendous athletes. They really are. And the work and the dedication to their task is special. To be able to win a state championship is something that they'll never forget. I was down at Seneca Valley when Coach Blundell got the word from his wife that Neshannock had won. And the smile on his face was as big as it was when we won the state championship in 2014. His daughter Allie's on that squad. And when I watch these cheerleaders at the games backflip the whole way down the court, it just amazes me. They're tremendous athletes. The time, the dedication, the synchronization that's necessary to perform all of those skills and tasks, and to do it under pressure when the pressure is the highest is really special. Neshannock, Laurel, well-deserving of Athletes of the Week.
Yeah, certainly. Congratulations not only to Allie Blundell, but her entire teammates and the coaching staff as well. Everybody at Neshannock, congratulations. And I second that in terms of Ralph Blundell. I sensed that Sunday night when we spoke, when I asked him the first question, he says, "Ron, I'm just beaming right now," and you could just tell in his voice. He hadn't come down from cloud 9, and that was probably 24 hours after the fact. And he probably still was beaming, and rightfully so.
Yeah. It's quite an accomplishment. It is quite an accomplishment. I applaud and congratulate those young ladies. And I know how hard they work. I had a few daughters who were not only basketball players, but they were cheerleaders also. There's a lot of work, time, effort, dedication put in, to that sport. And again, to be able to do it at the highest level when the pressure is at the highest is really a special accomplishment.
Absolutely. For basketball purposes, one performance that I'd like to single out last week, I believe Shenango played 4 games last week, went 2-2 in their games. One of those games was a loss to Elwood City, very respectable loss. But in 2 of those games that they won, Braden Ziegler had 22 points in a 58-35 win over Springdale and 19 points in a 51-28 win over Sewickley Academy. Both of those games, he had 6 3-pointers, channeling his inner Larry Bird, shooting from the perimeter. Larry, just comment on the job that young man did for Shenango.
Listen, Brayden Ziegler is my guy. That's the catcher on my baseball team. He's been a dead-eye shooter since he's been in 9th grade. Back when he was a 9th grader, we were scheduled to play Shenango in the Neshannock tournament. So I went out there to watch a game, right? I'm scouting the game. I'm scouting the 9th grade basketball game. And I see this young guy just popping 3-pointers after 3-pointers. I didn't know his name then, but I knew his number. I think he was number 5. And I always jostled him. I said, Ziggy, if we'd have played you in 9th grade, I don't want you to think you were going to get those wide open looks for those threes and start burying them against us. I watched the Springdale game. Let me tell you something. Those 3-point shots that he made would have gone into a thimble. They were pure, and he gets it off quick. It reminds me a little bit of Anthony Richards and his ability to get his shot off and get it off quickly. It's a beautiful stroke with great rotation. His dad was a great basketball player too, so it doesn't surprise me that Brayden Ziegler, my man Ziggy, also shares an Athlete of the Week this week.
All right. And that'll be for our purposes on here on Tip-Off. Again, for print purposes, our main Athletes of the Week is the Neshannock and Laurel competitive cheer teams. They are our co-athletes of the week. What a phenomenal job by those teams of young ladies, again, at Neshannock and Laurel. Congratulations to the Neshannock Lady Lancers for winning the PIAA Class 2A Large Division Championship.
There's one thing I learned growing up around here. People should look out for each other. Be friends and neighbors that you can count on. So it bothers me when people who are hurt in automobile accidents get bullied by the insurance company. I don't let bullies run over my clients. I do what I was taught growing up. Step up, stand up, and speak up for those who can't. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.
We're back with you here, everybody, on Tip-Off, and two more topics to go on this segment, and they're both girls basketball related. The first one, we will tell you about the Union Girls Basketball Program. 6-0 in Section 1A, 16-0 overall. And you heard me right, my friends, 16 wins, 0 losses for the Lady Scots. And it wasn't too long ago when that program struggled to win 2 or 3 games in a season. Right now, they are rolling. Kelly Cleaver, Elise Booker, Kayla and Kylie Frustorfer. The list goes on. Those girls are playing really good basketball, Larry Kelly. Any thoughts on what you're seeing from them?
Well, there was a time when you looked at your schedule and you saw the Union Scotties, it was an automatic win. Mm-hmm. And that program has come a long way. The culture has changed. And that's a credit to Coach Rob Nogue, who's only been there 2 years, 3 years, hasn't been.
This is, it's either his 2nd or 3rd year. I want to say it might be his 3rd season.
Yeah, and he's turned the culture around. And he's turned it around, but it all starts with the players, Ronnie. The girls that you just mentioned are really good basketball players. And I believe that part of the coach's responsibility is to make sure that the girls know how good they are, or the boys you're coaching know how good they are. And, I'm a firm believer in building up the confidence of a high school basketball player. If you tell them how good they are, they will live up to your expectations. And the culture has changed. 16-0 is impressive. That is an impressive schedule. It is so difficult to win 16 games in a row, especially on the road in high school basketball. It's a very difficult task. So credit goes first and foremost to the players. You got to have players to win, but also credit goes to Rob Nogue who's changed the culture, who's coached those girls up, who has them believing that they are a championship basketball team, and that's exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Early on in the season, when they were about, 4-0, 5-0, I kept thinking, all right, well, it's non-conference, non-section. I'm not sure what the other schools have, in terms of their talent, but kudos to them that they're at that time 4-0, 5-0, and then win after win after win. You start really taking notice and being very impressed. And then a few games ago, okay, here comes Rochester in. 3-time defending, I believe they are, Class 1A champs is Rochester. They come into Union, and Union wins. A hard-fought game. I believe it was 3 points, maybe 44-41 or something like that. So if that doesn't get your attention and that doesn't make you sit up in your chair and take notice, my friend, I don't know what will. We certainly buy into the talent of the Union girls basketball team for sure.
You win 16 games in a row, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you're playing. It is so difficult to win high school basketball games on the road, Tuesday and Friday, night in, night out. You could have a bad shooting night, and all of a sudden you get beat. So I haven't seen the Union girls team play, but I do read the box scores. They're doing it all. They're doing it all. They're playing good defense. I bet if I looked at that box score, they're out rebounding their opponents. They're turning them over more than they themselves turn over. They're probably going to the foul line more because they're running really good offense. And those are the three metrics I look at all the time. If you out-rebound the other team, if you turn them over more than you yourself turn them over, and if you get to the foul line more often than them because you're running really good offense and getting looks in the paint, you're going to win that game. And I bet if I look at the statistics over the course of the season, the Union's doing all of that.
Yeah, remember last year I told you they accepted a playoff berth when by rights in normal years they wouldn't have went, and they won their first playoff game, and they were awfully competitive in that second one. And I said that's going to be a key for them, getting that little bit of taste of the playoffs. And here they are, they're going to make the playoffs. And a fun story, Larry, if I may take just a moment, when Rob Nogay was hired as the Union girls basketball coach, I remember that night Kayleen Cubble was here and we were talking about it, and I said, boy, that program is in a shambles. It's just really rough, and her desk would face mine at the time, or her back would be to me, and she turned around real slow and she says, Ron, Rob Nogay is going to have that program turned around. They will be in really good shape. You trust me, that program is going to turn around. I'll be damned if she wasn't 100% right. That program is doing very well under Rob Nogay's direction. Absolutely.
And credit goes to him.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
But it's all about the players.
Mm-hmm.
He has good players and he's coaching them up. And look, they're going to make a run at that WPIAL title. No question in my mind.
Sure. And the other one that we want to talk about is the Laurel Girls. The Lady Spartans are 10-6 overall. And recently they had a coaching change. As everybody knows by now, Matt Stebbins had stepped down. He was on paid leave for several games right around the holiday break, around December 28th or so, I believe was his last game coached. And Larry, Laurel was very good last year. Again, I think the year prior they lost in the district championship game. Last year, I think they lost in the district semifinals. Didn't advance to the state playoffs because only the champion moved on last year. So naturally, they had a lot of girls coming back. I don't think they lost anybody. How tough is that when you're playing for a coach and you know who your coach is, and and then all of a sudden now there's a new director, so to speak, and how much can that affect chemistry throughout the course of a year?
Under normal circumstance, that might be a difficult transition, but the guy who took over the reins, Jimmy Marcantino, is a great basketball coach and had at one time been the head coach out at Laurel, and in probably, I know he worked out my daughter in the summertime, on her basketball skills. Jimmy knows basketball. He's familiar with the program. The women are familiar with him, so the voice that they hear is not too different than the voice of Coach Stebbins, who's no longer in that position. So the Spartans are in good hands with Jimmy Marcantino. Trust me, my friend, that is a good basketball coach who knows the game, who knows the program, who has coaching experience, and they'll do well. They'll do well under his tutelage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Playoffs won't be too far away, so we congratulate the Union girls on such a fantastic start. It's been fun following along with that program throughout the season and their talented players and the job that Rob Nogay's doing. And we're watching certainly what the Lady Spartans are doing at Laurel under the new direction of Jim Marcantino. Larry, any other thoughts on these two programs as we wrap up this week's edition of Tip-Off?
I can see both of those programs making a run towards the WPIAL title.
Mm-hmm.
There's good talent on both teams. It's all about the players, and there's good players, and you got good coaching staffs leading the way. It'll be exciting as we move forward. And I think we only have, what, Ronnie, 2 weeks left in the season, the regular season, and then we get to the real fun time, baby, March Madness. I can't wait.
Yeah, Monday the 14th is those, as I would say, those kind of unsafe, unnecessary games where coaches say, it doesn't matter, they're all non-conference, but hopefully we don't have anybody get hurt, and then I think the pairings are released the following day on the 15th. So that's where we're at. Gives you a little bit of a timetable. And for now, Larry, I won't really, present this to you too much. There's an over/under coming your way regarding the WPIAL boys and girls basketball playoffs. So I'll be anxious to see your opinion on it. But we'll keep that under our hat for right now.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I got my thought process already in mind.
All right.
I can see 3 Lawrence County teams winning the WPIAL championship. No, I take that back. I can see 4 winning the WPIAL championship.
Well, that was my over/under. So you're going under 4.5, because remember, we've got boys. You've got Union, you've got Newcastle, you've got Elwood. That's 3 that really have strong contention for a championship. On the girls' side, you have Union and Neshannock. That's 5. So that was my over/under question. So you sniffed that one out pretty well.
Yeah, and maybe I would bet. Well, we'll hold that on whether I bet over and under.
Okay.
Yeah, we will. But all 5 of those teams got a great chance of bringing home a medal come the first weekend in March. That's for certain.
Maybe somebody else can sneak in there with a right of staking a claim to it. Maybe Neshannock boys, who are really playing well right now under John Corey's direction.
I'm going to the game tonight. I'm going to the Neshannock Elwood game. Should be a great win down at the Lincoln High School.
All right. He's Larry Kelly. I'm Ron Poniewasz. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Above all else, stay safe, stay healthy. And if you have to go out with this incoming storm over the next couple of days, please be awfully safe and sound. And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Larry.
Okay. Thank you, Ron.
Uh-huh.